Welcome to evening meditation on this, the first day of September. And just going to share something I've picked up, experienced at the Greenbelt Festival last weekend. I think it ties in very much with the overall themes and approach of these meditations, of celebrating the presence of the divine in our midst. This group was called Contemplative Fire, very much incarnational, the body being intricately involved in our being as much as the spirit. From soul, as in the foot, to soul, you might say. We learn to resonate with and sing from inner and outer truths. A writer, Alistair McIntosh, in Soil and Soul. So we've got soul to soul and soil to soul. It says to walk barefoot and to realize that you're not thinking, but reverberating, that your mind is now resounding to the power of having paid heed. And so we begin. So there's a picture there of fire, and the symbol that Contemplative Fire uses, the Celtic trefoil, if you like, being and knowing and doing. So very similar to Richard Rohr's Centre for Action and Contemplation. Contemplation and action. And there's the rain just started outside. So whether you've got rain or not, or the sound of that, just bring your attention to this moment. Paying heed. Paying heed and noticing your connections. I've taken my shoes off, so the soles of my feet are literally in contact with the ground. Feel where your bottom connects with the chair, where your back, what that's resting against. Just notice that you are connected. And then take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And repeat that. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And then just deepen that and try holding the breath for 2 after the in-breath and after the out-breath. Now imagine that breath reaching the different parts of the body. And let's start with a focus on the feet, even the soles of the feet. And as you breathe, you're almost directing your breath, the energy from that breath, directing it to the feet. And then it's returning from the feet, back up to the lungs and out through the mouth. So again, a form of connecting, but also perhaps energizing the whole of the body. And then notice any other sensations connected with the breath. We focused internally there on directing the breath to the feet and then back up. And notice again the physical rise and fall of the belly with the in-breath and on the out-breath. And in this place of stillness and quiet, just a little exercise. We practice this in the outdoors at Greenbelt, but to begin our journey, if you like, with practicing gratitude. So if you joined before we started, I invited you to find an object in the room, either to look at it or to physically hold it. Something that reminds you, gives you a sensation of gratitude for that object or something connected with it. Just to hold that idea of gratitude. When doing this outside, we did that for about between 5 and 10 minutes, and then we moved on to another important element of our being, and that's lament. Too often I think we avoid lamenting. We avoid grieving for that which we've lost or which causes us pain. And of course, several times I've reminded us Richard Rohr saying that if you don't transform your pain or your loss, your grief, then you'll transmit it. And at Greenbelt we adopted a pose, lying on the ground or curled up. Not asking you to necessarily do that, but just to imagine a situation or maybe a person you know who is going through difficulties, troubles, or even a situation of your own. And just to acknowledge the pain and the loss, if that's the case, and to be able to hold it non-judgmentally, compassionately. And then the third stage was what our leader called new eyes, or new ways of seeing. And a short story to illustrate this, called Sweet Water Well. Two farmers from different parts of the world had just met up to compare notes. The American farmer said to his Australian counterpart, "My ranch is so large and I have so many cattle that it's just cost me a fortune to put barbed wire around the whole property." The Australian replied, and I'm not going to try an Australian accent, "You think your farm is big? My farm is vast and I have thousands of cattle. There's no way I could afford to put up barbed wire fencing to keep them in, even if I wanted to. I just have to make sure that the sweet water well that is at the heart of the property is kept pure and sweet. Then the cattle don't want to stray too far away. They want to stay in contact with the sweet water well." So here there is a shift of understanding which is made possible if and when we transfer our focus from one metaphor to another, from the containment of property and cattle by wire fencing to the nurturing of the livestock by means of a sweet water well placed and sustained at the heart of the property. For those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, the barbed wire metaphor has been deconstructed. And then the reconstruction, the opening up, the new way of seeing happens with the metaphor of the sweet water well. I suspect that many of the grievances and challenges in our society need some deconstruction, reconstruction, and seeing things with new eyes. So as gratitude, lament, new eyes, ways of seeing, and then finally, and we'll take this into our longer silence, the way forward, future and forward. And we'll go with the music from Salt of the Sound, just an instrumental this time. And this is called Vespers. So in our silence, we might just focus on the breath. We might be the observer of our own thoughts and practice bringing our thoughts back and letting them settle. Or some elements of that little exercise of gratitude, lament, new eyes. Richard Rohr's order, disorder, reorder, perhaps. So we gently come out of our silence, our stillness, our quietness. Perhaps with some thoughts on reconstruction, new eyes, just that image of the sweet water well. Some closing words from Psalm 62. Find rest, O my soul, in God alone. My hope comes from Him. He alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress, I shall not be shaken. My salvation and my honour depend on God. He is my mighty rock, my refuge. Trust in Him at all times, O people. Pour out your hearts to Him. For God is our refuge. Amen.